It goes through, it has awesome pictures, tells you exactly like where the tethers are once they go forward facing.
Okay.
It has this little thing that I was just telling Shannon about that we didn't know about. There's a little tether behind the armrest that actually holds it up, so if you're installing in the middle seat, it's not gonna flop down on baby.
Oh, nice.
So, good thing to know. And then it talks about, it actually says right here, not allowed to use the latch system, so the lower anchors in the center seat, which means we'll have to install a seatbelt, which there isn't one that's safer than the other. Okay. It's just whatever it is you're allowed to install on. And the reason behind that is that most vehicles, especially ones that tell you not to use, to borrow, they'll have two sets of anchors. So they have one over here and one over here. And a lot of people will borrow one from this side and one from this side. But the ones that don't allow you to borrow are the ones that they're mounted on one bar here and one bar here. So there's nothing connecting in the middle. Got it. So if you borrow one from this side and one from this side in a crash, there's no support. So it's just gonna flip on you. Height and weight. So at least 4 pounds. Up to 30 pounds. 4 pounds.
They say she's over 4 pounds right now, so I think we're good.
And that's what I was gonna say. You're probably good. They typically won't release kiddos from NICU unless they're about 4 to 5 pounds. Right. So 4 to 30 pounds. Got it. 30 inches. Good way to remember it. 30-30. Okay. So 30 pounds, 30 inches, or 1 inch from the top of their head to the top of the shell. So you're gonna kind of push down on that padding a little bit and see where that 1 inch is. Okay. A lot of the times they'll hit that height or that 1 inch before they hit the weight. 30-pound kiddo is gonna be, my kid is 2.5 and 30 pounds. Right. So, and there's no way he would fit in that room. Everything else you ever wanted to know about the seat, warnings, everything else is in here. Perfect. So, ever have a question, this is the place to go. So I will give you that. I'll put these in my glove compartment. Perfect. I will tell you that it is okay to install without the base. Okay. And I can go over that with you as well. So if grandma doesn't have base installed or some friend that you decide that you want to go with them, we can show you how to install it without the base too. Okay. So, and it's just as safe. We just usually don't recommend that you do it every single day because you have to install and uninstall every single time. Right. And the more you do it, the more likely you're going to have an issue and forget something. And okay. So, all of our fun parts of the base. This little thing here is our level. So there's a bubble. And you want the bubble between the two lines. Okay. For newborn, you want it as close to this far line as you can get it. Okay. So we'll actually install this way so it'll be a little different. So we want to make sure it's this part of the line, but not too far this way. And the reasoning behind that is that there's so much room that, you know, this fits kiddos all the way up to 30 pounds. Right. So as they get older, they don't necessarily like to be as far back. So sometimes you can adjust it a little bit more so they're sitting a little bit more upright. For newborns, we want to make sure we get that full recline because they have no muscles. Okay, so that's the first important part. Second important part is our foot. And this is what we're going to use to adjust the angle. Not all car seat bases have these, but this one is great. I love it. So if you push on these little buttons here, that's what adjusts it. Oh, okay. And there's, I think, 3 different adjustments. So we have all the way down. The more you would lower it, can if you want to. Some kids are perfectly happy to be more reclined. And typically, once they get to that point where they want to be sitting up, usually that's when you want to start looking probably for a convertible seat, where it's going to stay in the car. They're going to be sitting a little bit more upright anyway. They're going to be able to see out the window, that type of thing. So, okay. What I usually do the first time I install is I actually make sure that foot's all the way down to start with. Okay. And then we kind of adjust from there. I'd rather have it be too reclined when you first put it in and adjust from there rather than it being too inclined. Okay, so we're going to do middle install. And like it said in the manual, first things first. This little thing that we noticed. This is a little tether. Nice. So this goes up over top, this comes down, and it clips over top of that. And what that does is that keeps it from falling down, flipping down. Oh, nice. Okay, so we have it all the way up. We aren't installing with lower anchors, so we're just going to leave this all in here. Okay. And I'll show you how to do, I can show you how to install that way too so that you know. Okay. But we'll just do seatbelt for right now. So middle seatbelt. We're going to go straight through this belt path right here. And then through this one. It's pretty easy.
Yeah.
Cut and dry.
Looks like it.
Click it in. Okay. Now, this seat has a cool feature called a seatbelt lock off, which we are not. That's better. Okay. So I moved that down 1 click because our bubble was still too far forward.
Okay.
So I just moved it down 1. We have 1 more to go, so if once we get it installed, it's still not quite past that, then we can move it down 1 more.
Okay.
Okay. So your base has what we call a seatbelt lock off. That's these little orange pieces right here. And what that means is that our car seat has to be locked into place somehow. So either with the lower anchors, like we were doing before, with seatbelt, there's going to be 2 different ways, either down here at the buckle or up here, which is what yours probably is. And what you're going to do, I'm not going to do it on that one, I'm going to do it on this one. If you pull it all the way out, it's going to stop, maybe, and ratchet.
Oh yeah.
Hear that clicking? That thing that us as adults absolutely
Right, because you get
learn to
stuck.
hate, because you're like, oh, I'm stuck.
For sure.
So that's the other thing that you can use with lock it in.
Okay.
But since your base has this lock off, you don't have to do either one of those.
Oh, okay.
You can use the lock off. So what we're gonna do is, what I usually recommend is put a knee in front, and I'm gonna have you do this, so I'm just showing you how to do it for the time being
Yeah,
though.
you're fine.
So you're gonna put a knee in front, so you're pushing back into the vehicle seat, hand here that you're pushing down, and then you're gonna use your other hand to pull it nice and tight.
Okay.
Now, if you can't get all that tightness out of it right now, don't feel bad. We can work with you through it because being pregnant, you know, just
Right.
not the easiest thing in the world. So we're gonna hold it nice and tight, just like we had it. And then this is gonna slide through
Oh,
that little spot, just like on this side. And it just slides right through that orange and the gray piece there. And that locks it in place.
For sure.
We want 1 inch of movement or less at the belt pass. So we're gonna check back here. Up here it's gonna move. It's supposed to.
Right.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Perfect.
My other suggestion, once you have it all in, I would still suggest pulling this out all the way and just letting it go back in. You don't have to tighten it. You don't need to do anything else with it, but just let it go back in. And the reasoning behind that, as kiddos' legs get a little bit longer, they're gonna be able to reach the seatbelt. And if it's not locked, more likely to be able to get it around head, neck, arms, legs, whatever they can get a hold of. So if we lock it to start with, now we don't want it locked, because then it can put stress on that lock off and cause other issues. So, but just doing it lightly that way. And our bubble is about where it should be. You can always adjust a little bit. And once you get baby in here, kind of take a look at that too and make sure the bubble's still in between the lines.
Okay.
So, do you have any questions?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
But I'm sure that they will come about.
And they will. A lot of the times I say too, when you're taking it out, unbuckle it first, then take it out of the lock off. Otherwise you're gonna not have fun getting it out of the lock off. To install with lower anchors, it's way simple. You're gonna do the same thing as you did before. Only these little guys, there is a little bar right here.
Okay.
And a little bar right here. It'll show you little buttons where they're at. And this clips on, and this side clips on, and you pull this to tighten.
You can do that in the middle, or you said you have
to do it on the outboards.
on the sides.
You can't do it in the middle in this one.
Got it. Because the bar is not completely across.
Yep. You got it. Now to loosen those, you just pull up on this.
Oh, perfect.
Loosens that then too. They aren't too bad in there. Some of them are kind of buried and they're hard to get to. But these are push button ones too, which is a little bit easier. Some of the other ones you have to actually push together and slide in and click.
Oh, got
So if they're really tight, it makes it a little bit harder to put them in. But we aren't doing it that way, so we're just going to let that be. But just so you know.
Yeah, for sure.
Same rule goes true for less than 1 inch, side to side, front to back. Usually we suggest use a non-dominant hand, like handshake, and just give it a tug. So you don't want to sit there and be going like this and making sure that it's tight.
Right.
Just a quick tug and make sure that we're good to go.
You said the middle is best if possible.
Middle is safest.
Okay.
Because it's the farthest away from any point of impact. So if you were T-boned on one side, it's further away. T-boned on this side, further away, front and back.
Front and back too.
So you're right, nice and cocooned in the middle.
Correct.
The other thing we will check too, which once we get it installed, I'll have you install first and then we'll check. We want to make sure that there's enough room front to back here as well.
Okay.
So you want to make sure you can take a hand and slide it between the seat and the seats in front.
Okay.
Which the seat is pretty compact, so it shouldn't be an issue, but we'll check that once we get it installed.
Okay.
So, I will climb out and let you climb in.
Hopefully I don't mess this up.
So, when you put baby in, there are some different things to check. These are what we call the harness straps here.
Okay.
And this is the retainer clip, or some people call it the pit clip. So really, the best way to do is put baby in, make sure baby is sitting up as straight as possible. And the first thing to check are these harness straps here.
Okay.
So when baby's rear facing, as long as baby's in this seat, these harness straps should always come out either at or below baby's shoulders. So there are some different levels, but right now they're coming out below the shoulders, so that's
Okay.
all right. And then, so put baby in there. You just want to get everything buckled up first.
And do you always do the bottom ones first, do you recommend, or does it matter?
It doesn't matter usually. I guess I just do that.
No, yeah, just making sure.
But the main thing is just getting all of them clipped. So now you want to do what's called a pinch test with these harness straps. So, let's see. So usually do it up here by the shoulder. And if you can pinch two pieces of material together like this, then they're too loose.
Oh, okay.
And then you just need to tighten them up a little bit. So we can do that by pulling the strap. And then this clip should be at armpit level on baby. So just kind of right up here. So if we move that up, and the straps are still a little loose yet, so I'm going to tighten them up more. And the straps don't need to be like digging into baby, but they just need to be snug over the shoulders there. Then as baby, continues to grow, like I said, there are some different slots here. You can move the straps up, but just remember at or below baby shoulders for rear facing. And then to loosen the straps, you push on this orange button and just pull out on the straps like this. And try to pull out at the same time with both straps just to keep them even. It makes things easier. And then to tighten, just pull it like that.
Oh yeah, does she look like me?
So you just put it in there, make sure it clicks.
Okay.
Maybe give it a little tug, make sure it doesn't click in all the way. Perfect. And it's gonna wiggle a little bit on the base, and that's okay. It's supposed to do that, not a big deal. Okay, take it out. There's a little orange button.
Right here?
You have plenty of room. I wouldn't worry about it.
Oh yeah, because
So it's that one on the back of the seat.
on the back of this.
Yep.
This one?
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Click it, pull it out. Easy peasy.
Yeah. We're ready.